evening. Welcome to the Real Life Relationship Growth Get Together, come together, however we gonna call it. Welcome. This is our fourth episode of our It's Your Fault series. It's Your Fault series. So we're gonna get started because we know once we get started, we going with this thing. We going with this thing. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna introduce the crew. I'm going to introduce the I'm going to introduce the crew coming in. I'm sorry. Let me turn this down. Introduce the crew. Let's start out with Miss, of course, because always ladies first. Miss Corey be the educator. Ooh, ladies
Ladies
first.
first.
We don't care what the men say. We don't care what the men say.
Keep it
That's our
up.
intro.
Always
That's
up.
our thing.
Always
What's
up.
up, lady? How
How
are
you
you?
doing? I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm great. All right. All right.
How was the week?
The week.
Yes.
The week was good. The week, and we're only on Tuesday. So
Yes.
right.
Yes.
So we're only on Tuesday. So the week has already started out popping. The already started out popping.
You
You
know
know
what?
what? Yeah, we're gonna always put him on last because somebody always in the peanut gallery got something to say. So our next one to coming to the stage, we have Mr. Cortland Tony of Uniquely Made. What up, Cuzzo?
What it is, y'all can't be getting out my whole government name. We got to get this thing started and going quick because I got good internet right now, and I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Right, right. All right. So next coming up, we have Mr. Mark from Date Night Online. What's up, sir?
What's up, everybody? What's going on? How y'all doing? I heard
Well,
y'all held it down last week, so good
we
job.
did. We held it down for you last week, Mark. We missed you.
Because
We
you
really
just didn't want to
did.
be
All
here.
right.
We really did. Hush, Courtney. You already.
I just put feet on the man. I'm chilling.
We did. We held it down. We held it down. Yeah. And I could stall on this. I need to stall a little bit. We might need to stall for this one because he always.
Oh,
I ain't gonna do it. All right. Last but not least is Mr. Jimmy Rogers of
Oh,
relationship. We'll talk. What's up, Jimmy?
what's going on, guys? What's going on? I don't know why you all acting as if what I said wasn't true.
I didn't even read what you said. It
I
skimmed
saw. That's
across
why I
the page.
laughed at it.
I saw LOL at the end, so I knew it was something smart. I knew it
Oh,
was something smart.
you ain't got to guess with him.
I was just reading Cortland's mind. That's all.
Oh, that's what you
Yeah.
were
Yep.
doing? He put it on you, Court. He put it on you. All right, y'all. So again, this is episode 4 of our 8 episode series. It's your fault. It's your fault. We just gonna jump into this thing right here. We have our scenario. We have our topic. Let me show y'all what I put for the topic.
It's whack.
It's whack.
That's it. Swag. Swag. All right. All right. Y'all ready to get into this? So okay. Hmm. So our topic tonight, if the sex is whack or the relationship is lacking intimacy, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? This is our scenario, y'all. This is our scenario. At the beginning, things were hot and heavy. Now, every time I try to touch you, you pull away. I try to make time for us to do things, but you're always busy. You're always busy. That is our scenario tonight. Who wants to dip into that first? Who's gonna take that?
I
What?
So,
think, in the words of Mark, I think he should go ahead and start it off with his famous saying because that sounds like something he would just say
uh, okay. Whose fault is it? I think it's I mean, not having a whole lot of context to it. I would probably say it's probably both of our fault because it's our responsibility to figure out what it is that makes each other feel good, right? I can't really shift the blame on just one person. I think everybody needs to have that conversation even before you even get to that. So we already accountable, right, for that, right? So I think it's both, based
Both.
upon what the information I have right now.
Okay. Mark says both. Miss Corey, what you think?
I would agree, 100%. There's not a lot to it, but if I was to put something to it,
Uh-oh.
if I was to put something to it, let's talk about two grown folk at their big age, and her sex drive is increasing. Maybe every time she touches him, he's like, hey, I'm tired. I've worked all day, or I've been running around, or chasing the dog, or saving the world. I don't know. Perhaps. I don't know. Perhaps he is tired and he is worn out.
And that's if indeed it's the man who's
right?
Not
right.
wanting to, right.
That's right.
Okay.
It did, like Mark said, there's no context. So we didn't name who it was. So we gonna
be either.
It could be either.
Right. And that's why I put it on her, as she's trying to get some, because a lot of times when you hear something like that, people assume
it's the man.
The man.
So I just wanted to flip it a little bit.
Yep. I'm glad you did.
In the famous words of Deborah Cox, I think we have to ask the question.
Come on, sir.
How did we get here?
Hello.
How did we get here?
They might not have been there.
The scenario says
it started out hot
scenarios. In the book of scenarios, chapter 3, verse 1 says, at the beginning, things were hot and heavy. Verse 2.
Yep.
In chapter 6. Now, every time I try to touch you, you pull away. Why? That's what I want to know. Why am I pulling away every time she tried to touch me, or vice versa? Why? You know what I'm saying? And it says every time. So that ain't sometimes. So that ain't just being tired.
Yeah. It's gotten to that point.
There's something else that is deeper going on. So how did we get here is the question.
Hey, I want to point some out too. Look, check this out. So where I'm from and what I always heard, whack was spelled W-A-C-K, right? Look, if you got the H in there, it must have been really whack. So guess what? The W-H-A-C-K was double what the W-A-C-K was. Go ahead, Don. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
It's really bad.
You know what? I did. I looked it up. I actually looked it up because the way it was spelled, the way it was given to me, I was like, let me be sure. So you're right. We talking wiggity whack.
That title right there, right?
You know what, Mark?
What's up?
Thank you for that. Because I just figured out how we got here. If the sex is wet, that means for whatever reason we tolerated it for a certain period of time.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe it was something that was being brought to the table that we enjoyed, and we said, okay, we can overlook the whackness of the sex. Or maybe it was like, the sex wasn't that great. Maybe it'll get better later on down the road, because they bring all these different qualities to the table. But it just hasn't. It hasn't. So now it's like, I don't even want to endure that, man.
Yo, let's do that.
I don't even want to endure that. So now you got a lack of intimacy.
Okay.
I'm just putting two and two together.
Let's come from that perspective. Let's start out. That being our perspective. Let's start out from that point. So as a woman, right? As a woman.
Hold on,
so
men about to get deep.
Men are physical beings. Y'all are more physical. Y'all see it, y'all like it, y'all, men are more physical. Women are more emotional. We need to have some type of connection. Some women are more emotional. I would think in this scenario, in this situation, she overlooked she overlooked the fact that he was not doing things quite the way she might like it because she was in here, them heartstrings was being pulled on. What you think, Corey?
Sorry, I just
Corey's still saying it's the woman that's whack and the
Nah,
husband don't want to have none.
I feel like, listen, if it doesn't work out that first time, you
We
have
can
a
flip it.
conversation and you say,
Ooh.
hey,
Ooh.
I'm sure you're probably the man where you're from. And it worked for those folk, but every woman is different. This is not working for me, brother. Let me show you something. Here's a book. I'm going to highlight some pages. I'm going to circle some things that I really, really like.
Or you don't even have to go that deep. Just simply say, babe, can you do this? I like that.
There you go.
Babe,
You
can you do
Mike
this?
Tyson, the male ego.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let me say, Corey, just for you saying that, what you saying, men, if your woman responded in that manner,
Come on with a
I
book.
wouldn't say it like that. I
But you
wouldn't say
just did.
She tried. You're right.
I'm just
She tried
telling
to
y'all
get-
what needs to happen. But you don't know it's gonna be horrible before you start. You know afterward, unless you're gonna have the lesson while it's happening and say, well, hold on, slow down, look like this, do this.
No, that's
do that.
exactly when you should say it.
exactly.
When it's happening, because that's when you want to get whatever level of pleasure you want to get.
Mm-hmm.
You need to say it right then. Hey, babe. Okay. I like this. Try this. Now, the problem potentially could be what you're asking for, the partner has never done, or maybe tried it and found out that he or she wasn't good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Didn't
so
quite
now
work
they have some type of complex about trying that again. So, but again, it's back like what Donna was saying. At some point, you got to have a conversation and honestly, and be like, "Hey, this is what I like." In the moment is the best time to do it. Like, "Hey, try this," and you'll immediately know how they feel about whatever it is that you're asking. They're gonna respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe later on, you all can have a more in-depth conversation about, hey, this is what pleases me. I'm willing to do what pleases you, blah, blah, blah. Have that conversation.
Right. So gigs to riches. She said it's the delivery. The book may be too much. LOL.
Again, I wouldn't say that. I'm just over exaggerating.
I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced that you wouldn't say that.
Right.
Corey, I can see her right now handing out a book.
So let's be honest though. There may be some people that do respond in that way. So
Right.
this is a teachable moment. This is at least, we want to look at it in a way of considering the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm going to again ask the question, men.
Okay.
If it came to you that way, what would be your response?
And the way that Corey said it?
Yes.
Okay, Corey. Okay, for a minute. Okay, let's do this. Corey, go ahead and give us that response again. Let me see where you're coming from.
Give us the real response, Corey.
Yeah, please. Let's start there.
Okay. The real response.
Yeah, that you've tried before. Give us the one you tried before.
That
Uh-oh.
That means you've been around some wacky. Go ahead. Let us know.
Things just got real.
I tried to look serious when I said it, but y'all
Yeah.
messed me up.
Yeah.
I do think you have to be very, very gentle with the male ego. It is a very delicate
Ooh, girl.
I believe.
So go ahead and say it the way that say it. We don't need to hear all that. Say it.
Oh,
Yeah, just say it.
Let's role play. Let's role play.
I would just say it, Corey.
Corey, you're talking to me. Let's role play.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, boy, I have to put that thing down.
Just don't pull
Woo-hoo.
just
You like
don't
that, didn't
just
you?
don't
You
pull
like
it out, bro. That's all we ask.
Amen.
This is a family show. Go
Right.
ahead, man. Go ahead. Y'all take care of it.
It's like Bernie Mac. This whole room will get dark.
Hey, man.
This whole
Hey,
room will
man.
be blacked out.
Hey, you gotta give him a disclaimer, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm bad. My bad. Donovan fell out the chair. What's going on, man?
Like, did they they hack down the stream too?
Oh man.
Okay.
All right, give it to me, Corey B. Tell me how you would tell me that what I thought I did not do.
Call the inbox blowing up right now.
Right.
I would
And I'm over here looking too. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Okay, go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry.
I would, if I didn't say anything right then, I would give it some time and say, you know what, let's do something else. Let's do a little bit more. And then I say, hold on. Do like this. Do like that. I like it when you do this. I like when you do that. I would say those things. Stop, Mark. Stop it.
I ain't say that.
It was all in your face.
Because that
I
male
went to a
ego-
dark space.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Go ahead.
Oh,
First,
Go
God.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Because that male ego, I think honestly, anybody's ego. Anybody's
Right.
ego. But
Because
we
a
coming
woman's
from a
ego
female
is just as
perspective.
fragile.
Right.
Yes, it's fragile. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. A woman's ego
In
is
certain-
just as fragile.
Listen, in certain areas, both, like you said, both parties' egos get very fragile in certain scenarios.
Mhm.
I literally saw a video similar to this. There was a couple sitting in a car, and so the girl asked the boyfriend, why do you love me?
Yes.
And he was like,
Right.
No, how do you know that you love me?
yeah, how do you know that you love
Yep.
me? He said you don't want me to answer that.
Mhm. He said it repeatedly.
Yeah, she was like,
Mhm.
no, for real, no. He's like, no, trust me, you don't want me to answer that. So she kept pushing. So he was like, he said, I know that I really love you because your sex is whack. And I'm still
Stay
with you.
here.
And I'm
Yes.
still with
Still
you.
here.
And
That's
the
a
look on her
backhanded
face,
compliment.
the look on her face was priceless. Right? Now, what I took from that was, one, he should have been a lot more tactful, one.
Mm-hmm.
But two, she should have been extremely proud
Yeah.
of the type man she had, because he just told you, look, physically you ain't doing it for me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but obviously
So much.
all them other attributes you have is keeping me here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
And-
see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But
And
And-
for us, that's important.
Yeah.
That is important.
yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
I-
I'm gonna tell you in a minute. You know, there's plenty of pee around.
Right.
I can find that anywhere.
Mhm.
I need
Yeah.
substance.
That's
I
why, but you know what? That's why it's important to understand this. I'll say this: the sex starts before the physical part even starts. Right? The real
Mhm.
sex starts from the mental. You know, getting that mind condition. Right? Getting that mind condition. Getting that spirit connected before you even touch it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I think that as men, we definitely have to realize that's more important than this actual quote unquote smash. Right?
I think that really
that's
applies to
important.
single men though, Mark. Because
Well,
married men,
Right.
married men get to a point where, okay, you know, listen, I wanna feel that you desire me. Don't get me wrong, any man will take it, you know, but is he really enjoying it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even
Right.
for us as married men, we want to know, man, do you desire me, or do I
Right.
always have to initiate? And men, see, this is the mistake women make about men. We are mentally prepared. We just don't need you to always do it.
Mm.
The mere fact that I'm
Mhm.
thinking about you, I'm envisioning whatever. Too many women too often needs outside stimuli. Why I gotta caress your ego all the time for you to want me? Why I gotta tell you everything why can't you just want me because you love me and you desire me? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think it's a cop-out for a woman to always be crying about, man, it starts before the bedroom. It's the stuff you say to me. You need too much attention. How about you just think about me and that be your motivation?
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
think about it from that perspective. Do
I
you
mean-
know how sure that would be for a
Yeah.
man? Like I ain't got to go through all these hoops for you to physically be, you know, turned on. Why can't your brain get turned on?
Right.
Yeah,
You know
I,
what? To your point, I can definitely see that. You know, especially coming from the marriage perspective. Yes, me being single, definitely, I want to. You know, that my platform is more so about dating. So they're 9 times out of 10 going to be single, right? If they're dating, hopefully, right?
Mhm.
So yes, I do speak from
Hopefully.
a perspective, right? I speak from a perspective of people that are starting the process and moving them forward in the dating. That's typically what happens, I guess.
yeah,
Hey,
I think
let's read this comment right quick because this is
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a
Thank
comment
you.
that says her mediocre performance could be due to him not bringing the best out in her.
Mm.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I mean, and I'm no shade to whoever this is that said that. But again, it's always an external reason why there's a lack of performance.
There is, but I as women though, as women, again, I started out by saying men are physical. We're more emotional. We want that hoop jumping. We do. Not saying that you don't need attention, and I don't need to let you know how handsome you are, how fine you are, how that squared off of that back. Listen, it's necessary on both ends.
You all right? You back?
That might call you.
Who?
Oh,
Who you talking about?
both of them had a flashback at the same time.
Who's that?
but we want the hoop jumping though, and it's not saying that you have to dumb yourself down or not expect the same type of attention, because being that we're emotional, we're more here, and y'all are more physical. Y'all not gonna necessarily see it as we do. I get what you're saying, Jimmy. It needs to go both ways.
But it doesn't. And we can always make all these scenarios up. But even listen to the next comment. If you feel they are hoops, then you're just not into her or romantic if you know what she needs from you and vice versa. So the point that I was bringing out in this, it is a duality.
Yeah.
It's not one-sided. And I'm going to use this for an example. In February, there's a date that everybody calls the Day of Love, right? Ain't but one darn party think it's for them.
Sweetest Day.
I say Sweetest Day, but Valentine's Day is supposed to.
That's what I'm talking about. Valentine's Day, all of the commercials about what men gonna buy women.
Yeah.
And so there's a mentality that they're just the recipients and they're never a part of the equation of making that day a day of love, right? I'm talking about collectively. I'm not saying all women
right
do this. So let's
Right.
make sure that we're not talking about all, but a large percentage have this mentality, even when it comes to intimacy, that if it's not initiated by him, it's not gonna happen.
But isn't
And let's
that
be real? Let's be
isn't-
real.
I'll-
A lot of
ahead.
women do not know how to give in the bedroom.
Well, that's their fault. So why is it our responsibility
Yeah.
100% of the time? You see what I'm saying? 100% of the time to be the initiator, to be the one who's showing all this love
Because
and
they're taught to
romance.
receive.
No, listen, bro. I'm telling you from experience on what I do from a day-to-day basis.
Right.
It's getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Men, if you just for sex, don't see us just for whatever it is you see us for, and that's not a part of, the part that bonds, it makes intimacy. Intimacy is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street where only one person receiving, and then from that,
So
all of a sudden they magically this and that. No, that's
so
not
Jimmy,
true.
let me ask you a question. If you was to put it on the scale, do you think that's 50-50? How about this? Is it equally supposed to be, or do you think that men are supposed to, or women are supposed to receive a little bit tad more, 55? You know what I mean? Men.
No,
I'm just asking. I'm just curious.
If we're gonna use a
scale,
if we're gonna use the whole thing of percentages, it should be a duality. It should be 50-50. I'm not saying that, one time you do it, next time you do it. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, no one party, no man or woman should feel like they're the only ones who are showing a certain level of intimacy or physical attraction to their mate, and the only thing the other person do is just receives.
I totally agree with that. I'm one of those women that feel like Valentine's Day is for both of us. Is something that because it's supposed to be showing a day of love. So how does love only apply one-sided? But if we look at how society has set things up, and we look at the position of men and the position of women, that's why this type of subject falls into that, because we look at the man to initiate, we look at the man to support, we look at the man to protect, we look at him for all of those things. So when it comes down to the sexual relationship, it's almost automatic. Not saying that it's right, but we also have to look at how we were taught, what we saw growing up, and what the things around us said. The man initiates, the man brings the flowers, the man does this, the man does that.
I agree. No, and that is correct. When you are first meeting them, you are supposed to be, the male is supposed to be the one to initiate. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Right. But now that we are in a relationship, correct, I am not a dog, and I ain't gonna be chasing you around 24/7 trying to get your attention, trying to get, you know what I'm saying? That's not how it's designed to be.
Well, if it's reciprocated,
right? It's supposed to be reciprocal.
Yes.
In other words, I may, you know,
chase me.
And then of course, of course, you're supposed to do something in return too, right?
Yes.
I shouldn't be the only one chasing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you put it down to the chasing, I mean, I definitely agree with that part. But I think just for me, you know,
somebody said put her in.
I just pretty much hold women for me. You know, I understand the 50-50 equal, but I still think that there is a sense of, you know, I think we do have to earn it though. You know, I think even with trying to earn something, we're gonna probably have to hold it to high regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to hold, you know, because we do. And so, in the case, especially when meeting women, I just think we do have to go to the next level, just to lower the security aspect, right? Because we got to prove to you that we're safe.
On that wall.
What's that now?
Talking about the wall that people say they have up, breaking down that wall.
Most in dating, from the process, it's a lot of women that have walls out here, right? I mean, when you say there's a lot of, okay, so we may have to do a little bit more in order to kind of chip away just a little bit. I ain't talking about get the sledgehammer. You know, there's only so much we can do on that. But I think it's okay for us to chip away. So if we're chipping away, then we may have to do a little bit more.
Yeah, from the point of dating.
Right.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. From the point of dating, correct.
I'm just bringing that part. I'm just bringing that part in.
Yeah,
right.
No, we agree with you on that.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about people that's in a relationship.
I know. I'm just trying to balance it out though.
That dating phase is pretty much self-explanatory.
Well,
yeah.
But even in the dating phase though,
I think one of the biggest things that we're missing that goes all the way back to the beginning is communication. You know what I'm saying? Because when we're in a dating phase or we're in a relationship, we communicate about sex and what we want in the bedroom, or at least we should. Mm-hmm. Sometimes even before we get there. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times we don't have those awkward conversations because we feel like that's just for the bedroom. And now we get in the bedroom and we have no idea what our partner wants. Well, no idea what our partner likes, no idea what our partner needs, because we never had that conversation. And now we have to have the awkward moment of having that conversation afterwards where we didn't do what we thought we did because either he or she is not pleased with something that happened. So now the person who is not pleased has to figure out a way to say to the person who did not please them in a manner to say, and this is also, but now you have to know your partner. How long have y'all been together? Because now you have to know your partner in order to know how to give them the delivery that's not going to have them balled up crying in the corner. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, don't tell them you're going to give them a book and circle it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
if your partner is like that, you can give them a book. But if they're not like that, you can't give them no book. Hey,
Well,
I
like
got
you
books.
said, it's knowing your
So check
Yeah.
this out. I want to say something real quick. So I'm gonna say this. I just want to kind of go back just for a second. I'll say this. Yes, it is common for people to do a little bit more in the dating stage, but here's the thing. I think it's very important for us to recognize that because it's not being done. Right? It sounds common, right? But it's not being done, right?
What's
Right.
not being done?
What
Right.
you're as far as men actually holding women to high regard is not being done. Right.
Oh,
So
well,
what
there's a why to that though, too, Mark.
right. So what I'm saying is I have to, when we address that point and when we say it's common, in dating, you're supposed to do that. Yeah, to your point. But I just want to uncover that to remind people because I hear a lot of women in that stage say it's not being done.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying,
And
we can't skim over it. Is my point.
no. I agree with you, and I would say
You know.
where that genuinely applies, that is true.
Right. That's
And,
what.
and I
But we
say
got.
I say that very cautiously.
Right.
Where it genuinely applies, right?
Right.
See, because there's another aspect that a lot of men are dealing with that the average woman ain't gonna, admit. A lot of women use guys for entertainment and dinner.
Absolutely.
So, look, I don't know how you wrote off in your budget that I would be the one taking you out and doing. No, that ain't how that works. So we got to also think about the society we live in. Too often, people, men and women, are using each other for things that the other person didn't necessarily agree to.
Right.
And so now you have these dysfunctional interactions between male and female, right? So I think when we're talking about this subject, just from bare bones, right? Whether it's the man or the woman, like Mark said from the very beginning, it's both people's responsibility if it's whack, right? So let's just say, because here's what's really happening in real life when you talk about this subject. There's so many variables. When people get to lifing, they have children, they got careers, they tend to allow those things to take precedence over their marriage and their relationship. And it's easy for both men and women too often to put their spouse or significant other on the back burner because they're trying to achieve whatever it is they're trying to achieve in society. And then what's even more dangerous is once it's brought to their attention, they don't acknowledge it. And
Jim in the Matrix.
Ooh, what happened?
It's a glitch.
Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
I can hear you. Just
I
can't
don't
see
know. I don't know.
We can't
what
see you,
happened.
Junior. We can't.
Good
we
grief.
can't see.
I have no idea what happened.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we can hear you.
Oh wow. But yeah,
It got hot.
but too often we are allowing ourselves to be put on the back burner or putting each other on the back burner, and then when people mention it to you, you get defensive. You defend what you're doing rather than saying, you know what, let me make the adjustment.
Right.
And so then we get conversations like this scenario.
Right.
Now I want to touch you. And then another thing too is we can't forget the medical problems. ED is real. ED is real. There's some what's this? Menopause is real.
Right.
It's a whole bunch of things that go on.
Gravity is real.
That affects it.
I know.
What's it, gravity? Oh, I
the
don't
tail
know.
get to the everything's real.
You know what I think? You know what I think also too? I think also that there are a lot of romantically and emotionally unequally yoked people together that should not be together. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you hear people say, "Oh, I want him to tell me this," or "I want him to tell me that." First of all, this man ain't never did this in a day in the history of his life. But all of a sudden, you want him to become a brand new person and start doing these things and saying these things to you when that's not who he is. Oh, I want her to rub my back. First of all, this woman you can barely get a hug out of her. First, that's not who she is. So why are we trying to make people be who we want them to be instead of finding someone who romantically or emotionally matches us a little bit better instead of getting with this person and putting them in the box and then not understanding when they're not giving us what we need emotionally or romantically.
My question would be is how did you get with them and not know
From
these
the first one.
In
There
the
you
first
go.
place. In the first place.
Oh, because they had something that you like. That simple. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just a monolithic thing that we look at when we go into a relationship with some people or we deal with people sometimes. Sometimes it's that, I guess, the 80-20 thing, right? Oh, well, I can deal with the 80, you know what I'm saying? I'll just negate the 20. Or maybe I can teach them this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I can change that about them. Oh, you know what I'm saying? That's that hope and that wish mentality. Like, I hope they change, right? Or I wish they change. Instead of just looking at it for what it is. Okay, this is not who this person is. Either I accept it or I don't.
Yeah, I think that's the downside of. I'm just saying, I guess, in of course the dating stage and even relationships. I think I done lost my point, y'all.
I figured out.
I'll say this. I'll say this when
That's a good
Marcus
one.
get his point back. And I'm gonna be a little bit graphic. If a man is putting it down and he's giving you the D, he's putting it down, he's giving it to you, right? As much as you want it every day of the week. But you really like for him to go downtown and eat eat you out, right? That you like that, but that's not his thing. He don't really like doing that. But he giving it to you so good that you like, I'm not even gonna question that for right now.
No.
But 5 years later,
no.
you're like, wait a minute, he only gives it to me on my birthday and Valentine's Day.
Why you rubbing
And that's
your
where the
head
problem
like
comes in. And that's where the problem comes in.
But some people accept that though.
Yeah, okay, so when people accept that, the realization is what we have to realize is you get what you accept. What happens in the long run, you've already allowed it to go on for so long.
Yep.
Now you want to fuss and complain about it. That's why it's so important to have these conversations. Have these conversations and to say what it is that I need, to say what I don't like that. I like this. I need you to do this. What do you want me to do? What I mean, it's important to have these conversations because if you
Donna, you're so right, and acknowledge, you know what? This was my fault because I allowed this to happen for so long and I didn't say anything. This is why we're here. Now, babe, I was wrong. I should have told you however many years ago, this is what I really like. This is what turns me on. And don't get me wrong, babe. I'm not saying that you're bad in all these other areas. I'm simply saying if you want to see me go to the next level, here's how to do it.
Say that these are things that happen in conversation before you even get to the
should. But they don't. And let me tell you why they don't. Let me tell you why they don't too. Because see, people like to throw stuff out there, throw these cookie cutter answers out there, and women and men both are guilty of this. But when a person tries to have that conversation with you, here are the kind of conversations you'll hear or statements you'll hear. Why are you talking about sex? We ain't even there yet. Ain't nobody said we got to have it today or tomorrow. Listen.
You always want to talk about
First of all, and this is something I've counseled people with, and I have a friend right now. I tell my friend, hey man, here are the kind of conversations you need to be having with that chick. Have these conversations right now. You need to know right now where her head is.
Right.
Literally.
Where does she see you? You see what I'm saying? What does she see you as? How is she defining you in her brain as it relates to the relationship that she's looking to have with you? You need to ask these type questions. Well, for him, man, yes, right now. Guess what? Because when are you going to find out that y'all are not equally yoked? When it's too late?
When it's too late.
When you're emotionally connected now?
When it's too late.
You got your little heart.
That ain't just for the Bible. That's for everything.
Yeah, you need to do that early on. You see what I'm saying? And anybody that's dragging out the dating process, trust me, they're using you.
Yep.
Why are we afraid to have that conversation though? I think that's the biggest.
What conversation?
Why are we afraid to have the conversation?
let me say this before we go a little bit. We're talking about when the sex is whack, when the intimacy has dwindled away. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about those things that can bring that about. Go ahead, Cortland.
I would say, why are we afraid to have that conversation? And I know that's an old school black thing, to where it's like, especially back in the day when I was, dealing with women. I said like when I was dealing with women, like I still don't deal with women. But when I was dealing with women, back in the day, it's like they didn't want to have that. Like they didn't want to have conversations about sex outside of the bedroom, and I was like, I don't understand that. Like,
because everybody,
what are we doing?
Well, so first of all, everybody don't want you to know that they might be a little freakier than they, and two, when they are not really into you that way yet, that's a conversation they don't want to have.
There's also,
especially for men, that's a lot of times attached to our ego, right? And it's almost an ego bruiser. Right. When those conversations are being had, regardless of what it may be, it can be ED, it can be you're not performing well, it can be whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's so attached to the ego where it makes it difficult for us to even to respond to something that may be a positive conversation.
Right.
Can I just interject here? I just want to say that's all weird to me. All this is weird to me.
What is weird?
To not have this conversation about what I'm not into, because interestingly enough, I learned in church that you have to talk about sex before you decide to continue dating with someone.
In
church.
What scripture? Show me scripture. No,
hey,
you need to be talking about that. You need to be talking about finances. You need to be talking about raising kids. You need to be talking.
Right. The way this one person.
Whoa. Let me stop y'all real quick. What level of dating are we at?
Can I just let me just
okay, go ahead.
Right, that's good. That's good question.
If I'm meeting you,
very good.
Yeah, if I'm meeting you and you're on a level 1 with sex, like you're good with sex once a month, and I'm like at a level 8 and I'm like 2-3 times a week, there's probably gonna be an issue. We might not be the type. We should not be together. But you're right. There are several things. That's why I don't get how people get to this point. I really don't believe that happens. Who is so into somebody? I don't get it. I'm lost there.
That they haven't had that conversation.
Well, no, Donna said earlier, I think you were saying an example where, or no, maybe it was just Cortland.
No, somebody said that in the comments.
No, somebody was saying that you're with
just
someone.
Not that into you if they don't want to have those conversations.
No. They were saying that you have sex with somebody and they've never done this one thing. Yeah. So
that was
5 years later.
Okay.
Jimmy.
So let me ask you something real quick. Okay, so what's your okay? Let me make sure I understand this. You're single, correct, yes. Corey? Okay, so you're a single woman, and you first time you have sex with a guy, and it's not to whatever level you may be. How many times will you allow that to happen before you have that conversation? Like, is there a time limit? No. Is it? Do you give an opportunity, or you just say I'm done at the first one? Like
no, because we've already had a conversation on what I do and don't like. So let's assume.
So okay, hold on. So you have. Let me ask you. So you have sexual conversations before you even have sex, even before the first time. Yes. I'm just trying to get clarity. Yes. Well, that's very rare. But go ahead.
It's part of foreplay.
That's very rare. Yeah, you see my man down here. We don't go ahead. I'm listening, but I want to hear your.
You have this conversation now. While you know what I do and don't like, you might not be good at it. So when you're there, okay, depending on how you are, I might need to wait till you're done, or like Jimmy said, hey, slow down a little bit. Do this. Tickle right here. Stand up like that. Put your shoulder like this. Something. But if I gotta tell you, there's a way. But then stop. But
so let's talk about the average. Let's talk about the average. To your point, Mark, and to what Jimmy was saying, that is rare. it's not very many people, I don't think, that are going to have that conversation and
I disagree.
and have it all in line. Now, what I would say, what I would say when that does happen, and this is where we actually are with this conversation. This is where
What
we
up,
actually
Kev?
are. Huh?
No, I'm saying, what up, Kev? He said he
Here.
just found us.
What?
Kevin Nobles.
Oh, Kev. Okay. Kevin. Hey,
He said,
Kev.
yeah, he said he just found us. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to the point of this of the scenario, y'all. Let's go back to the point, because
I'm about
we're
to start
talking
fire.
about
Where the gasoline at?
we've come into a dating realm. But if we're looking at the scenario and what we were talking about, we're talking about people that are either married or already at that level in their relationship. Things went awry. Things went to the left. I don't want you touching me.
Okay.
I don't want you doing that. I don't want you touching me or whatever. And Corey made a good point. Why? Why do we get to that point? And how do we work on that or fix that issue so we can move along in this relationship in a great way? Because there are several things that will break things down, and we know sex is one of them. We know intimacy is one of them, even without the sexual intercourse part. This man,
Right.
this woman,
Right.
Corey, move this. Corey.
there's no touching.
You touching the heartstring with Corey.
But to the point, let me just tip on this for a second, and then I would love for us to kind of go back that way. Corey, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But that is a rarity. Like, if you're at that point,
I gotta strongly disagree.
if you're having sex with somebody, hopefully you've had some type of conversation, and people have one night stands. Very possible. People are dating and they're having sex and they're not even sure where they're going in their relationship. But I don't know. And y'all know me, I'm pretty transparent. I don't know that I've ever had that conversation before until it got to a point where there's a commitment going on. I don't know that I've had that conversation. And why haven't I had that conversation?
Boy, this is like hopscotch.
Not necessarily because.
Yeah, I want to hit Cortland.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cortland.
No, go ahead, because I want you to get it all out, because I want to jump in, because I strongly disagree. But go ahead, keep going.
He couldn't even hold his seat. He couldn't even hold it down.
Right.
Him over there.
Right. And I gotta see you strongly disagree that what?
That is rare that men and women do not talk about sex before having sex.
No. We're talking about the level of what Jim said. Sitting down in discussion, or the level of what Corey said. Sir, need you to read this. I need you to. That's what we're talking about. We're not saying that the conversation is not had, but
That's
how
all
many
a part of it.
conversations?
That's all a part of it.
How many conversations have you had and you said, "Hey, girl, listen, I like
The first time you meet her.
it this way. I like it this way. I like to do you that way." Or okay, you and Corey missing the boat. Well, y'all,
Okay.
I need y'all to.
Well, let's be clear, because Mark brought something up that Mark, I think, I don't think anybody would be wise to try to have that conversation on the first date. That would just be dumb.
Yeah, it ain't a first date
Right.
conversation.
Right.
That would really be dumb. But
Shonda said,
let's just say y'all are
y'all
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dates in, right?
Right.
It's time to start having some real conversation, because obviously
Absolutely.
we're both feeling each other and we're spending all this time together.
But is it the conversation of what I like and what I don't like, or is it the conversation of
Absolutely. Because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, this is how here's how that conversation is going to be initiated. So tell me, what is it that you like? I want to know what you like and what you don't like.
What's your turn on and turn offs?
Yeah, what are your turn ons and your turn offs, right? I'm going to initiate that. I want to know, right? And now, Here's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for her to go, so what do you like?
Right.
Now, if she don't ever ask that question, that'll be the last date we'll be on.
Ladies, let me give y'all a tidbit.
Why?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you how the conversation starts. Because the conversation starts in pillow talk when y'all on the phone until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Because we talking on the phone and we just having general conversation, and then all of a sudden I drop a couple of hints. And if you bite on them couple of hints, we go into that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So like if I be like, what you wearing right now? And if you tell me what you're wearing right now, and it's like 1 o'clock at night, oh, I got on just this bra and these panties. Okay. She giving me a little bit of rope.
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop another hint. Yeah. If you give me some more rope, okay, you know what? Now I know I can kind of go in and have that conversation. And now we can start having.
I don't hung up on you by this. I'm hung up on you.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
Oh, yes, I have. Oh, yes, I have. Why you hitting
for the internet?
Why you hitting
for the internet?
Why you hitting?
Capping for the internet? No, because first of all, listen. I am hinting because we have not had that conversation yet. So I don't want to be rude and just come out and just hit you with the wham bam. So I'm trying to see if you're thinking like I'm thinking. So I'm dropping little nuggets to see, okay, she's thinking like I'm thinking. Now I can go full blown into it. Some men don't care. They just gonna go in and say what they gotta say. But if I don't know yet, but I know we feeling each other, then we can like, you know what I'm saying? There's ways to get into that conversation. Once we get into that conversation, now we gonna start talking about things and be like, yo, I like this, or she gonna be like, I like this, or you know what I'm saying? Or like Jimmy was saying, it's like, hey, what are your turn-ons? What are your turn-offs? That's a clear drop right there. If I say, hey, what are your turn-ons and turn-offs? If you take it sexual, they're like, okay, I know the conversation that we can start having now. You see what I'm saying? So there's ways to get into it to have that conversation when people are talking at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I hear you. I'm not gonna dog the way you go about it. I'm not the roundabout person. Come at me direct. Don't cut through the corners. Talk to me straight.
That's in general. It don't have to be the same thing for
those of you single
everybody.
males that are listening to this show, Corey B don't want the around the way talk. She wants you to come straight at her.
Jump off the
Girl,
top.
Do you want the D or not? Do you want the D or not?
Right. Jimmy Superfly Snooker. Top rope.
Corey, like, listen, I don't need all that. Trying to be all nice guy stuff. Just go and say what you're gonna say, because either I'm in it or I'm not.
But Corey will let you know, though. I feel like Corey will already have let you know, so it's like you don't even have to be tactful in that. You're like, okay, I can address that in a different way. But everybody is different, so you can't move you can't move the same with everybody.
Really? Kevin Noble talking about some cage match. My God.
Yes.
What I'm saying is a lot of times if you're getting to know someone up until that point where you're comfortable bringing up the sex conversation, or what are your interests, what do you like, what do you not like, or what turns you off or turns you on, whatever, you generally know the kind of person you're dealing with. So, like I know that sometimes I need to initiate that conversation because he's a gentleman and doesn't want to come off like a weirdo because of what has happened in the past, or I'm listening to what he's saying when he's talking. So I know, okay, I need to initiate this conversation. The second date's too soon for that. I'm going to do that then on this conversation or on this outing or whatever. So, but 3 o'clock in the morning talking about, oh, what you got on? I can't.
Okay, so y'all ain't never been on the phone till 3 o'clock in the morning? Don't play with me, y'all. Don't do that.
No, I'm not saying I haven't
been on the phone.
I haven't. I'm not saying I haven't been on the phone that late. I'm just saying I'm not going to wait until 3 o'clock to talk about it. I want you to be the right
I guess
I'm just using that as an example, man. Y'all be literal. I'm just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you know what they say about, what grandma say. Ain't only thing open after 12.
It's 7-Eleven and legs.
Look, we can't even hear me. It blacked out. Your audio went out, bro. It may have meant for you to go out because we didn't hear what you say. We didn't say it. We didn't hear what you said.
No, I said only thing that's open after 12. I didn't say nothing else after that.
Oh,
legs
okay.
and 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
That's what my grandmama said.
Jimmy finished
Ain't nothing open that late but legs and 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Kevin,
I think
no.
you know what? I think I'm gonna try by air guy. Like, say for instance, from the standpoint of, like me and the woman, before we even go there, I guess I'm try by air. Okay, we typically, in my experience, don't really have first conversations. I'm trial by error. So as we go along, in the process, I'm gonna try to figure it out. Now, there will be a standpoint where as far as being attentive, there will be certain nuggets, or maybe just typically a woman would, in my case, I'll say from my experience, for the most part, is typically told it makes the conversation a lot much smoother if we have to have a conversation, right? Because it's trial and error. It's like building blocks for me, right? So it doesn't really make the conversation tough when he said, "Hey, babe, I think I might need that." You see what I'm saying? More so than just saying, "Well, you ain't tickling my fancy." You know what I mean? Like, for me, that's why it doesn't make me feel any kind of way. Is my point.
Yeah, I think the first mistake would be trying to have the conversation too early. First of all, get to know each other.
Absolutely.
Right? Beyond physical. And if we're gonna be honest about this subject, too many people want that's the first conversation they want to have. It's like, knucklehead, I don't even know who you are.
No.
Right. But I'm referring to somebody who is mature enough to know that if you want something that is going to have some longevity and some quality, you're probably going to want to stimulate the person's mental before you trying to get into the physical. So get to know each other, right? And once you all, listen, we're grown people. We all know at the point somebody starts feeling us. We all know that, right? Everybody can tell. You know the exact moment, because initially, if somebody's going out with you, maybe there was an initial attraction, right? But after you've been going out for 5 or 6, 7, 8 dates, they're obviously into you,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And so at that point, now it's time to have conversations beyond your favorite color and all that foolery, because now obviously you all are going somewhere significant, and at this point, I just think any man or woman should want to know, okay, where are we going with this? you 10 dates in, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think that goes back to when I was like, hold the farm, when y'all was talking about finances and all the other kind of good stuff. Because I think, and I'll say this for men, I'm not going to speak for women, but I think for men, there's several type of dating that we do. You know what I'm saying? So you have I just want to have sex with you. I'm just here for the sex. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you go through the motions you got to go through to get to the sex. Then you might have the dating to where like, maybe I'm feeling her. Maybe I want to get to know her a little bit more than what I was initially thinking. So now you put on, I don't want to say a different front, but you move differently with her because you're trying to really actually kind of get to know her. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's different levels. So I think that goes back to, I think it's about the chemistry that you guys have for the conversation. So the chemistry will tell you when it's time to have that conversation. And then I think also is like, how do I really value you? Am I just trying to have sex with you? Or are you somebody that I actually really want to kind of get to know?
And that's why she better make your monkey tail
I can care less.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. We got to understand that. That's why she needs to get to know you to see what your real intents are. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, that's why you need to get to know her to see what her real intents are, because she may not be into you at all, but hey,
She just want to get out the house and get a free meal.
You take
That's
her
for
out to
I
nice places, you know what I'm saying? So hey, you know, and then she throw you in that friend zone. But I'm just saying, this is why, you know, getting to know people first and then delving into these deeper conversations would be a way to avoid getting to the point of this scenario. But this scenario is something that really, really does happen, and these are conversations that I have too often, in my personal opinion. I'm like, man, how in the world? What? You know? But I'll just say this, using the scenario and the scenario only. The scenario said, at first we were hot and heavy, and now when I try to touch you, you pull away, and when I try to do things with you, you know, you're not into doing it. And this is something that I literally say to the couples that I work with. What you're doing is equivalent to you having a car, for whatever reason, is starting to not drive as optimally as it used to. And because you're frustrated with it, you decide not to put gas in it, but you still need to use it to get to play A and B.
Wow. Wow.
It's just a dumb move.
Yeah.
So now you're going to pull away from intimacy, which intimacy literally is the fuel for relationships. And see, when we think of intimacy, we're always thinking about sex, but no, emotional intimacy. How do we connect, right? Do we talk about things that just bond us together? Do we share some chemistry in areas that's beyond the bedroom? All of those things play into intimacy, right? So if a man or a woman, because they're not happy in one aspect of their relationship, decides, oh, I'm gonna pull back on this, which is an area of intimacy, that's a fool's game. You know,
it is.
And so literally what you're doing is you're starving your relationship in hopes that you can manipulate that person to do something else that you want them to do. Both of y'all gonna lose.
Right.
It's you know, so when we're talking about those, when we're talking about this scenario, it's so many different angles this could have come from. I know couples that have dealt with, like I said, there are physiological and medical, you know, ED, menopause, and all this stuff. And I literally had to find a video where a lady, which was a psychologist, she talked about women that are going through menopause, right? And she was saying that because a lot of women, when you're going through menopause, you don't have that drive, and the therapist was like, you don't need it. Who says it's got to be romance for you to have sex?
Right.
Who says you got to be in the mood? And then she likened it to, do you think he's in the mood all the time to want to go to work? Do you think he's in the mood all the time to tell you you're beautiful? Do you think he's, you know, she just listed all of the things that women expect to get from a man, no matter how they make him feel. You know what I'm saying? And so it made a lot of sense. And then from another perspective is this, we have to stop. And when I say we, I mean both male and female. We have to stop finding reasons not to be what we desire from our mates.
Say that one again.
Say that again. Right.
Come on.
Say that again.
We literally have to stop finding reasons not to be what we are requiring from our mates.
Preach on.
And this is why I was so adamant about earlier. Listen, it should not be the response of a man to keep chasing his woman after he already has her. At some point, when is she going to show him she equally desires and loves and wants him? Because otherwise, he doesn't really know. He doesn't know if it's just a duty out of duty or responsibility. He's like, dude, I want to know that I'm desired too. You know what I'm saying? Why everything we do, if I don't ask, it ain't gonna happen, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So we both have a role.
That's totally agreed upon.
We both have a role in making this thing magnificent. And I think society, and this is where we're failing, we're listening to society, right? We're listening to society is fickle. What they believe today, they didn't believe that 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Society is single for life too.
You keep following society if you want to. You're gonna be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Ask the feminists. They miserable. Them heifers are mean. They mad. They angry. You see what I'm saying? I mean, y'all, you can say what you want to say, but at the end of the day, any feminist, if you remove men, just take them out of a city for 6 months, it would totally be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Society would collapse.
It would go to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to stop allowing society to dictate how we're going to deal with each other. We need to find something, whether you believe in God and God's principles or whatever it is, the universe, because the universe was created by God. It has laws. It has rules and regulations. You keep violating them and you're going to get the consequences. That's just a fact.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to learn how to live off principles and not our little preferences and our feelings. And your emotions do not supersede facts and principles. I don't care how you feel. You can say I feel all you want. It don't matter.
Yep.
Yeah, I know a lot of people want to have that conversation about 50-50 and this and that, but I honestly believe that a relationship is about give and take.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's about give and take. They say men die a lot earlier than women do, because a lot of men are giving and a lot of women are taking. See what I'm saying? So there's stress levels that are added there. But I do believe that if you had a give and take relationship to where the love would, and I'm talking about on a love, not on a financial. I'm talking about on a love, right? If you had a give and take relationship on a love basis, a lot more people would be happy. Like one of the phrases I have always hated to hear: a happy wife, a happy life.
Happy life.
And
what about a happy house? What about a happy spouse? A happy house?
Yes, that's what it should be. Because listen, that is the biggest lie ever told of humanity.
It is. It is.
Even the Bible talks about it.
Hey, I'll say this. I guess when it translates to me, I guess for me is happy life, where if she ain't happy, she'll be getting on your nerves. So
and guess what? Guess what I can tell you from my position being a coach. If he ain't happy, she finna be miserable too.
Mm-hmm.
But I am much happy. I am much happy when I don't get too much of it.
I think most people are. But
right.
My thing is whenever
you're going into pacify mode.
Right. Whenever you have a situation where one person feels like the responsibility of happiness and longevity is solely on their shoulders, it becomes super stressful.
It's a burden.
Yep.
It's a burden. You're no longer and people don't believe this, but the truth of the matter is this: you're either an asset or you're a liability.
Liability.
Yep.
And I don't care what part of life you're looking at. Either you one of the two. You look in your workspace, either that employer is going to see you as an asset or a liability. In your family, you either going to be an asset or a liability. In your relationship, you either an asset or a liability. Now you can take that however you want because it's still factual.
Right.
You either an emotional liability or an asset. You are a mental liability or an asset. You are a spiritual liability or an asset. Either way it go, you are playing one of those roles, and you have to decide which role do you want to star in.
Right.
Do you want to star in being an asset, or do you want to star in being a liability?
A liability. That's right.
So I think going back to the topic, whose fault is it if it's whack? I think we all agreed in the beginning that it's both, but I think I want to change my answer. I want to change my answer because I think it's the fault of the person who does not communicate properly to the other person why they are no longer satisfied in the relationship.
And
why am I pulling away?
Can I add to that?
Yes, sir.
I think it's that person's fault as well as the person's fault who is not reciprocating.
Yes. Why am I pulling away
Still the
from you?
same.
Why am I not communicating? Huh?
Yeah.
Say what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, why am I not? Okay, why am I not communicating as to why I'm pulling away from you when you touch me? Why am I not communicating to you as to why I'm always busy? Like, even though you've gone out your way to make plans. You know what I'm saying? So something is wrong, but I am not communicating to you what that is so we can fix the problem.
Yep.
Right.
So in
So
that
what's the
essence,
whole
I
point?
believe that's my fault.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe that's my fault, right? So it's like, but like Jimmy just said, once I tell you that, now it's gonna switch. Because
Let's
once
go.
I tell you that, if you're not willing to, would you say reciprocate or take the onus or
That's
be
it.
the accountability for
Yep.
what I'm saying to you, and you
Mhm.
want to blame game, guess
Yep.
what? Now it's switched. Now it's your fault. Because now I told you what is going on. I told you why I'm not feeling the way. Because if we done been married for a while and things was great, something is broken now. That's why
Yeah.
things are not where they used to be. How do we fix this?
How did
And
the other
it's
person not notice?
yeah.
Because it's called distractions. It's called distractions. And honestly, it's so easy to do. You know, it's so easy to do. Trust me. When you trying to climb that corporate ladder, when you trying to get that promotion, when you trying to, you know, when the kids are more important than the spouse, or when the career is more important than the spouse, when the when your hobbies are more important than the spouse, when the video games are more important than your spouse, guess
Oh,
what? Problems go ensue. You know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
that's how you quickly
Everybody
get
trying to
there.
read that. Everybody's trying to read.
yes, you're off. And we're all like, what?
Yeah, some
That
pops
Yeah.
up
goes
on
in
your
Latin.
screen.
Yeah.
It's actually
I
that
have
one.
no idea why this is doing that.
Everybody trying to see. Let me see if he.
Yeah, we just want to make sure we don't need to take you off screen.
Right.
Right.
No, I'm
The
good.
camera is too hot. Oh, it's too hot. The
Uh-huh.
conversation. The camera never got hot before. It's the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
can hear you though. We can still hear you, Jim.
but it's
Yeah, but
so
that's the deal, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we literally, both parties in that relationship have to take responsibility for how it got where it is.
Yeah.
And too often we only want a scapegoat, and we don't want to take ownership of the role that we played in it. Because I ask couples that all the time. Can you tell me from any perspective what role you may have played in why you all are where you are?
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
Right.
And
And you know what? You said something. This is touch that point of not being connected. I think we're just so consumed with so much. Everything's so accessible. We kind of, every in a lot of cases, people are plugged into quote unquote the matrix. They're so programmed to things outside of what reality is, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, some of the people that our relationships and or marriages are definitely affected by that, as far as not being as connected as we should. There's so much
Yeah.
stuff thrown around.
That's
You
what I
know what I
said.
mean?
Distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're easily distracted, right?
Right.
You'll be surprised how a man will allow video games, sporting events, and car shows and stuff like that to come in between him and his wife.
Yeah.
Just like you'll be surprised to know how often TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram will distract a woman from being with her man. These
But-
things are real. They happen on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, and what's more egregious is when it's brought to the person's attention and they defend their position.
Right, because the TikTok pants sure did go up from the women during the pandemic. Them little TikTok egg crate pants y'all used to wear. Y'all was definitely
Dude.
being consumed.
no,
Obviously,
look,
Corey didn't have a pair, and Donna probably had several. So
look, I have several, but I ain't wearing nobody saw them.
over the TikToking, there was a lot of people TikToking, but
Nobody
back in the
saw them. Yeah, we
pandemic.
talked about those pants the other day. These were not outside of the house and on camera.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
another reason why I'm gonna say it's whack, and I'm gonna put the onus on one party. in the relationship. We got to stop being boring. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to stop being lazy. We got to stop doing the cookie cutter stuff. We got to stop doing the
Good
same
point.
thing we've been doing for the last 3 months, 4 years, 5 days, and 10 minutes,
Mhm.
and
Good
thinking
point.
that that's going to keep the other person continuously happy. What about reigniting that spark? What about doing something different and just coming home and giving that person something different that's going to reignite the romance in them or reignite the lust in them or reignite whatever? Because when you have kids and you have a job, you have the monotony of everyday stuff that you are dealing with, and you just going through checking boxes, like Jimmy said, you ain't thinking about the other stuff. But if you break the pattern up and you come in there and you do a little something different, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, hold on, something's different. You know what I'm saying? Hey babe, guess what? We going on a date tonight. Y'all ain't been on a date in 15 years, but y'all going on a date tonight, right?
Yeah.
And then when they say
Yeah.
we going on a date tonight, don't fight them. Or if
Yeah.
she say, I want to do something different, don't fight her on that, right? Just be like, I might not understand it, but I trust you finna take me in a direction that's gonna be good for us.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That's what has to be done. Very good points, Cortland. That was
Mm-hmm.
really Jimmy, you're muted.
Don't be lazy. I like it.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause that's
Yeah.
what it is. It becomes
Yeah.
complacency, laziness. All of those things are major factors in why relationships are disintegrating like rapidly. And also to this unhealthy desire from attention from other people.
Kevin said
Woo!
Word.
Well, he almost threw me off with the robe and the carrot cake. I was like, where are we going? Where are we going?
That's
is
right.
hilarious.
Make it interesting. Keep it interesting. Keep it interesting. I always say we make time for the things that are important.
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
that.
What?
Yes.
Totally
That-
believe that.
Let me tell you something.
Wholeheartedly.
Woo.
And you know what's
An
crazy?
old lady once told me this. She said, if you really want to know what a person cares about, she said, look at 2 areas: where they spend their time and where they spend their money.
Mm.
You know what's crazy though?
Yep.
What we used to always say when we could tell a couple was happy back in the day, when they was both overweight. Like when they was used to be small when they first met, they was like the size of a pencil. Both of them was the size of a number 2 pencil. You know what I'm saying? Now they a whole notebook together.
No,
It's
that
like,
just
oh, they
means they
happy.
that just means they
They-
eating a lot and don't exercise. That don't
They
necessarily
super
mean they happy.
Right.
Right, but that's the correlation that we used to give it,
Right.
not understanding that they just got complacent and comfortable with each other to the point that where they just, kind of was like, now he looking at her like, I don't like the way she look no more. Or she looking at him like, I don't like the way he look no more. But y'all allowed yourself to get comfortable and complacent. I don't want to say lazy, but comfortable and complacent to where you were like,
Say lazy.
I'm not putting on for my partner no more. Like, I don't have to look good for my partner no more. I ain't got to smell good for my partner no more. I ain't got to shave. I ain't got to get a haircut. I ain't got to get my hair done. I ain't got to get my nails done. I don't have to do nothing because they not going nowhere anyway.
Mhm.
Listen,
And then you wonder why they get snatched up by the work husband.
they let go and didn't let God.
Mercy. Good night.
He said the word husband, because they let go and then let go.
Yeah, they let go and didn't let God, But no, all of those things are factual, man. And we man, the fact that you said we got to stop being lazy.
I love it.
Because here's something that we all do, whether we like to admit it or not, we all evolve.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things about us that will stay the same, but we still evolve. There are some things that I liked in my 30s and 40s that I don't like in my 50s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's some things I want to do in my 50s that I did not want to do in my 40s and 30s. So for me, and same thing with my wife. So I have to evolve. There are things that she likes to do that I necessarily don't like to do, but because she wants to do them, I'll do them.
You do. Right.
And I will be intentional about trying to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And before you know it, I'm having just as much fun with her simply because I see her enjoying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we get to this point where if it's not what we want, we now are the killjoy of the whole day or the event or the moment. We're slowly but surely suffocating the relationship and the intimacy.
Right.
You know, so we just have to listen to this comment. This right here is so powerful. It says, Earth is a big old theme park. With proper planning, you don't have to do anything twice with your mate.
Wow.
Hello.
Wow.
That is factual.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that means you're always looking for something different.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're always looking for something different.
And the only way that takes place is if you're intentional.
Yeah, intentionality. That is what's intentional.
So let me ask you this question, Jimmy. And you kind of answered it, but I just want to go a little deeper on that point. So we talked about the evolution of time because we all change over time. As we get older, we discover new things that we like and that we don't like. And we're opened up to things that we never seen before. We're like, oh, wait a minute, blah, blah, blah. What if my wife, my spouse, she brings something to me that I just have no interest in? I don't want to do. I just don't want to do it. Right? It's just like I can maybe I said like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it because that's what you want. But it's no enjoyment for me. It's nothing. Like when she bring it up again, I'm like, babe, I'm cool. What happens then? Like, so I just haven't evolved to where she evolved to. What do I do now?
I'll just tell you this. I'll tell you this, and this applies to every area of your life. You will rarely find joy and success in your areas of comfort.
Hold on, say that again. Let me get my notepad.
You will rarely find joy or success in your areas of comfort. If you're always staying in the area where you're comfortable, you're not going to grow. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to reach your fullest potential. Now, again, here's the measuring stick I will give anybody. If your spouse is asking you something that is preferential, it's one of your preferences, it don't have anything, is not violating any principles, you should not be opposed to trying it.
Okay.
You should not be opposed to trying it if it's not violating any principles. Now, it could violate your preferences because that's just what you don't choose to do, but anybody would be a fool to stand 10 toes deep on a preference. You going to war with something that's not going to stand the test of time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
But a lot of times we want to stand 10 toes deep on preferences, and preferences, you know. But just imagine if your spouse said the same thing to you. I just really don't want to do that. How would you feel? And it's something you really enjoy and you just want to share that with them.
If she did it once, I thought it would be okay.
Notice what I said.
Yeah, she knew it once.
Notice what I said. It's something you really enjoy.
Okay.
Right, and you want to share that with her.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a hard question for me to answer simply because I've never been married before. So I have a single person's brain when it comes to answering that question.
Yeah.
A single person's brain is like, okay, it is what it is. So like
I think a single person who's never been in a long-term relationship. But if you've ever been into a long-term relationship and you're with a woman that you are now considering your girl, she is marriage material in your head. All these things could still apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the only type woman you really gonna want to be sharing things that are near and dear to your heart with.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't have to become her thing or it doesn't have to become his thing. It's just that thing in the moment because that's what he likes to do. That's what he likes to
Right.
do. Like, what are we here for? I say that a lot. Like, what are we here for?
People don't know what support really is either, because
Yeah.
we don't do it anymore. We like
Mhm.
to support with our mouths and not with our actions.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hit the like
We only
button.
want to support when we think we can benefit from it.
Yeah.
And I'll just use this as an example. I play professional football. When I was playing professional football, my ex-wife wanted to be at all the games, right? And I thought she wanted to be at the games because she was supporting her man.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that ain't why she was there. She just wanted to be seen.
She was Instagram before Instagram.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was kind of like, man, but from my perspective, it was stuff that, she wanted to do that I didn't necessarily like doing. I just did it because, hey, she wanted me there. So boom, I'll go there, support her, be attentive, whatever it is she doing, whatever, what. We don't do those things anymore. We don't know how to be supportive of each other anymore, right? Because we're so selfish, in this society that we live in are teaching us how to be selfish, even more selfish, right?
So I'm gonna say this, and it might be controversial. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like men move like that more than women move like that. I feel like men are like, if a woman is like, babe, I want to do such and such. Men will be like, I don't really want to, but I'll do it. Versus if a man wants to do such and such, a woman's like, I'm not doing that.
I don't agree.
Like, all right.
Well,
so correct me if I'm wrong. Please.
Well, I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I'll just tell you this: I see it on both sides of the. I see it on both sides of the fence.
Okay.
I see it on both sides of the fence from my vantage point.
Yeah. Personal preference.
Look, somebody says a single person has friends they care about and do. Whoa, where did it go? Yeah, a single person has friends they care about and do things out of compromise.
Now you got to read Kevin's because his messed you up.
Yeah, fractured intimacy or the lack of will erode the connection and ultimately the commitment. That being said, your level of freak may not be his or hers, so be creative to find something you both like.
That's a good comment. Because we're talking about the sex being whack. We're talking about intimacy. And reality is sometimes there are things that one may want to do that the other one does not.
Yeah, because I got some boundaries now. I mean, listen, you don't ask me to suck your toes. That ain't happening.
What if she really likes that though? What if she she didn't like it in her 20s, but now she in her 50s and she's involved?
Like,
her
baby,
girlfriend's been talking about how it makes them feel. So now she's like, wait a minute, hold on.
I'll say, baby, you better
really
go. You better work on your flexibility because you the only one that know how you're sucking your toes. You want to feel.
What if she's repeatedly asking you about it?
Is that principle?
Huh?
Is that principle?
It is. I don't want fungus in my mouth.
Well, you know what you can do? You can wash them feet first.
Right, like Jesus did.
Or you don't want to get you don't want to get your lip. You don't want to get your lip cut by a corn.
Well, she ain't coming right with them feet. She better not be expecting to put them nowhere.
Look, Kevin, to my what you don't want them
corns in your jaw. Oh my god.
Hey, so here's my question: has she had bad feet for the last 20 years?
I don't care if they pretty. I don't care if they pretty. It's just not happening.
Uh-oh.
And I guess as I get older, it's certain things that I'm kind of like, you know what? Okay,
I'm just saying, principle.
Yeah.
Principle over preference.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Corey, what were you gonna say? Because you about to say something.
On Club Shay Shay, they had this very conversation. No, one Club Shay Shay. It was Chad and Shannon Sharp. They had, I guess, like a night thing. You gonna tell me you gonna eat that and not suck on toes? Come on, man.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Very good point, Corey. Very good point. We stopping it right there. We not gonna ask no more questions.
That was a good one.
Put a Ziploc bag over them so that, who wants to try
Wow,
knock me
this
up?
is a
A
lot.
Ziploc bag. What is that?
You,
what is
boy,
this
you might
movie with
be
Jamie
on to
Foxx?
something.
Said,
That's
I'm with you. Don't want them suck and would not do it. Yeah.
You gotta
Listen,
go to
I'm
the
with-
corn
I'm
store to
with
get
you
the
on-
Saran wrap, the Reynolds wrap.
Listen, that might be a plan. Some toe condoms, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, market that thing for those who don't suck toes.
hey,
The toe
because
condom.
that's what she wants. Because that's what she wants. Yeah,
But
but
look-
you gotta realize, you do some stuff. You have them do some stuff one way, they're gonna be expecting something another way. So you
There you
better.
go.
Hold up.
There
you
Kevin
go.
said, hold up. Kevin said, yeah, my boundaries is no wig. Nothing more disheartening than poking and stroking and you pull up a scalp off.
First of all, the fact that he said poking and stroking, ladies and gentlemen, which is a blue phone, we
That is
Right.
hilarious.
And pull her scalp
And
off.
pull her scalp
oh
off.
My
Wow.
That sounds like the line straight from a blues song.
Look at
The
Wow.
Bobby Blue Bland right
Jimmy
there, boy.
screen been
Oh,
tripping
my
out. Look at Jimmy's stuff again. I was going over
Hey,
Jimmy's
Mark,
stuff over
Mark,
there.
you ain't got to point it out, Mark. We all
Hey man, point it out.
Hey, Mark, you
Nobody
know what
was
it
gonna
is?
say-
What?
You know what it
nobody
is,
knows
Mark?
what Mark said something.
What?
Jimmy really just don't want to be here.
Right. He keep putting his warning flag up or something.
Hey, his camera's been ran through.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Right.
That
Yeah.
It's
is
time.
hilarious.
Gosh.
I know what it is. I forgot to turn my timer on.
Oh.
Yeah, because I have a 35mm camera. I don't have a webcam.
Oh, excuse me.
Right. Right. Is that Grey Poupon? A 35mm camera. What do you have?
Right.
Courtney,
I
what
don't
do
even
you
have a Logitech webcam. I don't even know
Damn
what this is.
webcam.
This is an Amazon special.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Hey, I think he's talking about you, Corlin. Yeah, I'm on the. What are you on, Corlin?
Right. That seemed
Amazon
personal.
special.
That
I got
seemed
an
direct.
Amazon special.
That boy crazy.
That seemed direct. All right, y'all. I think this might be a good ending point. Good discussion. I'm glad we kind of veered because we hit some topic. We hit the topic of what the singles may be looking at and saying and discussing, and then we brought it back around. So I can appreciate that. That was really good. That was really good. Go ahead, Corey.
So I wanted to make a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it in our chat actually, but there's this group, you might not have heard them. I'm sure you haven't heard of them recently, called Dead Prez.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this song called Mind Sex. Listen to the words. Just listen to the words. Very interesting. That's the first one. Second, so the action steps, because I think this was excellent. Communicate. Don't be lazy. And what else?
Open your mouth.
Reinvent.
I don't know what.
Communicate. Don't be lazy. He said
suck toes.
Suck toes.
Suck toes.
What's that? Communicate.
Reinvent.
Reinvent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or reignite.
So it was
I
communicate.
like reignite.
Don't be lazy. What else?
Yeah. Reignite.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Reignite. Reignite.
Kevin
Oh,
said-
okay, Kevin. Okay.
Kevin said, great song. Yeah, I think those are very good takeaways. Those are very good takeaways. Communicate. Oh, one of the things that I will say about communication is only as effective as the follow through.
Mm.
So not only communicate, but comply.
Yeah.
Communicate, comply. You know what I'm saying? Don't be lazy and venture out. Do what you haven't done before and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Hit them toes,
Right.
The
brother.
world is a theme
Yeah.
park.
Come on.
Ah!
We're gonna need those toe condoms. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And you know what? I guess I'm gonna close my. I'm gonna say this. Fellas,
You know
I'm
it's
not
bad,
taking
he
it
gotta
out.
clear
I
his
know,
throat.
man. It's so bad, but don't be real. Hey, fellas. Hey, look. ED is real. Let me help you out, bro.
Go to the
Help you out,
doctor.
ED. Hey, get in the
Blue
gym.
chew.
Get in the gym. Right. Get in the gym. eat you some good vegetables, get that blood flowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, listen, I'm 50 years old, right? And so I know that, you know, at this stage, women, their sex drive is more than it was when I can remember when they were 20, right? So as we get older, they get older. So it's
Their peak is
almost
at
like
30,
you
right?
got to do some extra stuff to stay on top, meaning that some things you might not want to do. Get up off the couch and get yourself straight, right? Go get your
Yeah.
prostate check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all that.
Go get your prostate check.
A banana a day.
Workout. And I'm gonna say workout definitely, because even if as men we desire a certain type of woman, and I'm sure a woman wants to desire a certain type of man. So
There you go.
if you expect her to be in shape, you get yourself in shape and get your nice little diet, eat you some salad. You know what I mean? And it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. You're gonna want to be satisfied. She wants to. So if you have a spouse, a mate, or even someone you may be interested in, do what it takes. If that's the one, if it takes that, hey, just do what you got to do. That's all I can say on that.
And
I
eat
want
you a
to
banana a day.
I
It'll
want
keep
to
the doctor
piggyback.
away.
I want to piggyback off of that and speak to the ladies. Same thing. Same thing. Menopause, all kind of changes happen. There are ways to deal with it, and there are ways to make sure that he is still getting what he needs, what he likes, what he desires from you. I always say when a woman holds back, and tries to use sex as a toy and as a token, she's punishing herself as well. If you really, really want to look at it, she's punishing herself as well. So take care of yourselves too, ladies. Get in the gym, walk, whatever you have to do, eat better,
Eat some
all of
watermelon.
that stuff. Stay sexy, look sexy, all of that. All of that.
Right.
Eat you
Yep.
some watermelon too, ladies. Eat you some watermelon.
So watermelon. All right, Jimmy had to click out on us. He had to go. But this was great. I appreciate you guys once again. We really, really enjoyed. You guys remember watching? Spread the word. I will be creating a new real life relationship growth page, so we can not miss our Facebook viewers. But YouTube is a great place as well. YouTube is a great place as well. Y'all good? We good? We done?
Guess what I did real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I did and actually I actually shared I created a stream and I shared it with Corey. So Corey, it's on your wall, this live stream. So if you can share it, we can actually have it still on Facebook, because I did stream it from mine. I tagged Corey. So you can tag Donna and it'll be on Facebook if it's not.
Which one? It says, Corey, we up?
Right. Right. That's just, you can share from there or share from mine. So it can still be on Facebook. So this week.
And go unblock that new page.
Right. Man, listen, I get all kinds of stuff. People come in there. Hey, how you doing, honey? What are you up to? How's the weather? You want some Bitcoin?
Right. I hear it.
I thought you was a Bitcoin miner. I'm sorry, I mean to block you.
I'm about Wall Donna.
Yeah,
Wall Donna. I'm like, hold on, man. Who is this?
Yeah, it's
like
me.
the Great Wall of Donna. What we
Donna,
talking about here?
Right, I got you.
Yeah. So you can share it as well. All right, y'all. All right, viewers, family members hanging out with us. Y'all have a great night. So appreciate you guys. We will see you all next week. Send us your scenario topics because we want to hit another one. Have a good night.
Why you hit another one?
Good night. Good gracious.